Hello there guys, you're listening to Ebird Online and I'm back with another review. And today we're going to be talking about Colt and Jess. And if you haven't heard, there's a sex tape floating around of Colt. For those of you unlucky enough to have seen it, there'll be a helpline number at the end of the video for victim support to help to give you the tools to cope with this awful trauma. You're listening to Ebird Online, this is 90 Day Fiance, Happily Ever After, Season 5, Episode 12, Compromising Positions. If you haven't done so already, please just press that red subscribe button for regular updates. And don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Ebird99. And also, if you enjoy the video, don't forget to press the like button. So where do we start with this turgid story? Well, we first see Colt at home, and he's with future victim Vanessa. They're standing in the kitchen and Vanessa asks Colt, "Have you told her about me yet?" And guys, this is making me laugh because Vanessa thinks, I'm going to stir up a whole load of trouble. Oh Vanessa, you're literally at this point background noise. Colt has been up to far, far worse than housing you in the so-called third bedroom. Guys, I simply don't believe there's a third bedroom. They live in exactly the same house as when Larissa went there, and when Colt was showing Larissa around the whole house, he never ever showed this third bedroom. Interesting. So whilst Vanessa's sitting there, imagining she's going to be some sort of a major storyline, Vanessa, you're not. We're just astounded that you're so fame hungry you would ever attach yourself to somebody like Colt. I knew people like you existed, but I've never been so unfortunate as to witness one. You're nothing short of an utter embarrassment. So Colt decided to meet Jess at a cat cafe, and they both sit down at a table, and Colt gives Jess his goggle-eyed insincere sociopath look and says, "You look great." Jess says thanks, but she looks as moody as all hell. And seemingly Colt's decided to irritate us immediately by asking, "What exactly is bothering you right now?" And it's these sorts of questions that wind me up about Colt, because he knows exactly what's bothering Jess. He knows that he's been caught sending dick pics to other women, and that's why she's angry. And if she isn't angry with that, he knows he's got another bomb to drop about Vanessa living with them. But instead of being contrite and apologetic as he should be, Colt's his usual cocky and scheming self. And Jess looks at Colt and tells him that she's seen the pictures that he sent. And Colt said, "What are you talking about?" So already guys, he's trying to minimise what he's done. He's not giving anything away until he finds out what exactly does she know. And Jess said, "Don't even try. I've got 8 screenshots from 8 different women." So guys, apparently when Colt told us last week, "Jess has caught me messaging other women," I literally thought he was messaging other women. Instead, he's been sending them photos and videos of him pleasuring himself. He really is a disgusting fat rat. And no sooner have these girls received these awful offensive videos than they've got straight on to Jess to let her know exactly what's happening. And I don't know what you think guys, but the Ebird sees it as thus. If she's been given videos and pictures from 8 different women, how many more must there actually be? Remember the whole Tiger Woods scandal when more and more women kept on coming out, and suddenly we had women that had slept with Tiger Woods and it numbered about 30, and I was thinking, it's 30 women that are unembarrassed enough to actually say, "Yep, I'm part of the roster of minging bottom feeders that have slept with a married man behind his wife's back," and that have so little respect for themselves that they dare to actually come out in front of the world's media and actually say, "Yes, I'm one of said women." So I knew immediately, if there are 30 that we know about, there are probably 3 or 4 times that amount that are too embarrassed to say, "Yes, I'm part of the harem." And I think this is exactly the same with Colt. There's probably about 30 or 40 women with Colt's disgusting videos in their possession as we speak. And Colt tells Jess, "Well, we've had a really weird experience since Brazil. I wasn't sure if we were seeing each other or not." But Jess isn't having any of this. She said, "No, you lie all the time. You repeat your lies and you actually believe it. Colt, you need help. You need a doctor. Or maybe just a nurse. Perhaps he needs Nurse Ratchet." And Colt tells us, "I'm really embarrassed. I'm ashamed of myself." "I don't think you are. I think you're unhappy that you've got caught, Colt." And Colt says he doesn't want to argue in public. Of course you don't, Colt, because you know you're on a losing wicket. And Colt tells producers, "This is not how I wanted it to go down. It seems like Jess just turned up with her guns loaded and she's trying to humiliate me in public." Colt, by putting sex videos of yourself out on the internet, you're humiliating yourself. You're doing all of this to yourself. Do you not understand? And it's still all about him and how he feels and if he's humiliated or not. Do you not think that you've humiliated Jess on national TV? Jess agrees and they leave and they go to Colt's house. Good plan, Colt. Hopefully you can divert Jess's absolute anger by the presence of Vanessa. And low-key, this is what I think Colt wants to happen. He's pinning his hopes on the fact that he'll be able to change the narrative for this argument into a discussion about Jessica and her unreasonable jealousy of Vanessa. I guarantee you, when we're talking about it, either in the tell-all or when he's interviewed about it later on, he'll say, oh, she fell out with me because my mum had moved Vanessa in. That's why she was so unhappy. He just wants to have a diversion. Colt, the mental image of your jiggly bits on video will never be forgotten by the viewers. I haven't even seen them and I'm traumatised by the thought. And at this point you could literally move in Lisa Ham and Usman and live in a throuple and we would still be focused on these videos. And in the car yet again, Colt tries to say, since Brazil, I'm not sure if we were in a relationship or not. And Jess tried in vain to explain, you need to think more about women. I'm not a toy, I hurt, I'm sad, I cry. And Colt said, I cry too. Do you care about that? In a word, Colt, no. And then Colt tells Jess, you mustn't argue in front of my mum. If we start arguing, we're going to have to send her out of the room. And so we see. We have yet another use for that ever versatile Debbie Downer. She's an argument blocker. Really? She's changed in just 1 week from argument agitator to argument blocker? I sincerely doubt it. Colt is ever more pathetic with the passing moments. So when they arrive at Chez Colt, Debbie's there with a platter of grapes and strawberries. And Jess sits down, she says, Debbie, I like your hair. And Debbie says, yeah, I'm growing it out. And then Jess says, oh, I love the jukebox. Of course you do, Jess. This is more evidence, if ever we needed it, that Jess did see the first season with Larissa. Because she knows very well Larissa said, oh, I don't like it. We see you, Jess, we see you. And they all sit there very awkwardly. And Jess says, Colt's a really great actor. Debbie, do you want to see Colt's movies? And Debbie said, no, I don't want to see. So this is interesting, guys, because Debbie doesn't say, what is it you're talking about? It's as if Debbie already knows that Colt has sent sex videos to other women. And she's complicit with his dirty behaviour. And this is why Colt will never get better or seek help or choose to conduct his life in a different manner, because he's got Debbie backing him up. And Debbie literally runs from the room. So guys, I haven't seen these videos, but apparently on Insta, there's videos of him pleasuring himself. And he's obviously not just talking to women, he's trying to have new relationships. And I believe that Colt's a sex addict. And I'm going to talk more about this a little later in the video. So after Debbie had left the room, Jess asked Colt, what would you do if I sent pictures and photos to 8 different boys? And Colt then says, with the least feeling that I've ever heard, I've been bad to you. I'm sorry I hurt you. I know I haven't been a good boyfriend. I know you hate me now. And you could tell by the way he was saying, I know you hate me. He was waiting for her to say, no, I don't. But she said nothing. And then he said, I've got something else to tell you. What's that? Vanessa's moved in. She's in the 3rd bedroom. 3rd bedroom? Who says 3rd bedroom? Usually people would just say, she's in the spare room. I don't know, what do you guys think? Anyway, that's where this episode ends. So we get to see next week, I guess, what Jessica's response to that is going to be. But it's pretty obvious to everybody that she's only gone to confront Colt about these videos, and the relationship is obviously over. So Colt just gets worse and worse. He proves once again that the only difference between him and a sack of shit is the sack. And so what does the Ebird make of all of this? Well, I think that Colt shouldn't be in any relationship other than an open one. He said that he'd sent inappropriate images. Inappropriate images, that's the very least of what they were. I mean, I haven't seen them, but I bet that they're simultaneous dick and titty videos. And remembering Colt's body from back on the beach, I think that's highly likely. And I said I think Colt's a sex addict. I think that he is. If he wants to send videos and pictures to people and they're consenting adults, that's Colt's business. But Colt, don't try to be in any relationship whilst you're doing it. Or at least tell the girls, I'm going to be in an open relationship, here's what I like to do. Are you happy with this kind of relationship? But the major point that I want to make to you guys is this. Let's rewind back to when he was married to Larissa. So everybody doubted Larissa. And because Debbie and Colt called the cops on her 3 times, all the accusations that she made about Colt messaging other women and so on were kind of shrouded in mystery and doubt. It did appear that maybe she was just trying to provide us with mitigating circumstances. But that's all been wiped away now as far as I'm concerned. I'm very, very sure that what Jess is going through now, Larissa was going through before. And Colt still continues to act as if he's been wronged. And he keeps on telling us, Jess is overreacting. What would you do, Colt? What would anybody do, given that set of circumstances? And Colt always has a very carefully crafted script. If you notice, whenever he's asked a question, he doesn't just answer straight away. He really carefully considers what he's going to say. I sent inappropriate images. No, I sent sex videos and dick pics to random women on the internet. Jess has discovered I was talking to other women. No, Jess has been contacted by at least 8 other women and given incontrovertible proof of your sex pestery. Jess came with full guns loaded. Jess came armed with only the ammunition that you gave her. 8 different women that we know of that you've sent these videos to. Colt, nobody believes you any longer. You should have kept your dirty antics off TV. So guys, what do you think? What I want to know is, do you think that Colt is using Vanessa to try and divert the narrative from these videos and dick pics? And are any of you interested in seeing the offending videos or pictures? I know for certain that I'm completely and utterly uninterested. And do you think that Colt needs to seek medical help for his problem? Or do you think there's no helping him? It's just the way he's wired and he now needs to look for a relationship where it's completely open and anything goes. I think that's probably the best way for him to go. I don't really think that you can rewire and retrain someone's brain at this late stage. So guys, let me know what you think in comments down below. And as usual, I'll answer as many questions as I can. I do read all of your comments. So just before I go, I just want to say thank you to everyone that's subscribed. If you haven't done so yet, please just subscribe and like and all that sort of stuff. And I will see you very soon with another video. Thank you so much for listening. You've been listening to Ebird Online. Ciao for now.